Hi, it's Jack Hadley with Dental Digital Marketing Discussions from My Social Practice. You know, here at My Social Practice, we are really laser focused every day on social media marketing, but we do understand the importance of an integrated digital marketing strategy for practices. And that's why we're bringing in many of the kind of the top leaders and thought leaders and strategists in dental digital marketing, people that we know and trust. And today, I'm really happy to have with us Susan Sims. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, Jack. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I'd like to start off real quick by just reading a quick little bio about Susan. For those of you who don't know Susan yet, let me just tell a little bit about her experience. So Susan started her dental career 20 years ago and has worked in practically every function in a dental practice to help practices be more efficient and more profitable. She joined Practice Dynamics in 2015. So she's been the last couple of years where she uses that experience to help doctors achieve more success in their practices. She was born to a military family in New York City, as I understand.
Yes.
And calls her home today in Scottsdale. Is that where you are right now, Susan?
Right. Coming from Scottsdale, Arizona.
All right, great.
A little chilly here today.
Is it? What does that mean? Like 70?
No. It was, I think, like 30, 40s this morning.
Oh, wow.
Going up into the mid to upper 50s. So it's not going to be that warm.
That is a little chilly for Arizona, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Or at least that part of Arizona where you are. The mountains up in Arizona, like Flagstaff and up in there, it's cold up there, right?
Yeah, they actually have been having crazy snowstorms. Like the schools are closed, the college is closed.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking like lots of snow.
Lots of snow.
Like East Coast snow for sure.
Not like lots of snow like we talk about here in Utah, because we have feet and feet and feet of snow right now.
Well, I think they have like many feet. Like
really?
Skiing right now and snowboarding is like prime right now. Because we have my boyfriend's son is up at Flagstaff and he's been having a lot of fun. He's going to Northern Arizona University.
Nice.
Having a lot of fun snowboarding.
Well, you'll have to put on your jacket this afternoon when you go have lunch then.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay. Hey, one more thing real quick before we get started with this. I heard something, and I'm going to share my screen here real quick. I heard this little rumor that you can actually fly, and the way you fly is by doing what we've all seen on the Olympics. It's called the triple jump. Is that right?
Yes, sir. So this is back in my junior high, heading to high school years. I had a really good track coach, and he encouraged me to try different things. And one of them happened to be triple jump. And I ended up making my way to the Junior Olympics and got a silver medal. So that was quite a feat back in the day.
That is great. So you weren't just an amateur; you actually kind of excelled when you finally tried it. It sounds like.
Yeah. So we did a lot of. I was mostly a sprinter, so I would try to do long jump, and I did really well there. And he just kind of put me into the triple jump, and it was really fun.
That's great.
Went to a bunch of different prestigious track meets like the Penn Relays in Philadelphia, the Jesse Owens Games, met a lot of good athletes and had a lot of good training and skills. So to this day, that's what I still enjoy, running and exercising. So
how fun.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was kind of a fun piece of trivia to share with our viewers before we got started.
Do you have anything you would share about you?
Oh boy, we don't want to get started down that road.
No?
No. At least not today.
Okay.
All right. So let's dive in. So what we want to do, this kind of have this rapid fire format, and I asked you to come up with 3 kind of succinct ideas. We're going to take only 4 minutes per idea and have you kind of frame it out, and then we can talk about it or whatever. And I think you have some slides to show, and I actually have a little 4-minute timer. So why don't we move right into the first idea? So while
Okay,
you're
great.
starting to share your screen,
Let me get it.
you find that little button?
Yep.
Okay. So I know the first idea that you wanted to share with our audience has to do with social media calendars. Is that right?
Yeah, I think
Can you click on your what button do you use in PowerPoint to share? I don't use PowerPoint. I'm a Keynote guy.
oh, so it's not showing you?
No. Can you hit the play button or whatever it is you?
Oh, okay. So, alrighty.
There it is over there on the far left. Play from start.
There we go.
There you go. Now we can see your full screen. So the first idea that I think you were going to lay out has to do with social media calendar. And I'm going to start our little 4-minute timer, all right?
Okay.
Okay.
So I think it's really good to have a social media calendar because it will give you obviously something to follow. And it's really good to concentrate on not only, like, if you can see on here, I have like daylight savings, chip and dip day, doctor's day, April Fool's Day. And then I also will set out a whole big theme of, like, okay, what is our theme going to be for the year? And then I'll break it down into themes of the theme of the year, or the value of what you want to get out of your social media. It needs to also be integrated within it. So maybe March, we're going to be concentrating on getting new patients for a dental office, for instance. And the theme of the year may be just growing the practice. So in March, we're just going to work on just getting new patients. So I would take things and I would try to make a calendar specifically about, okay, you don't have to be so regimented that Mondays we do Monday morning talks or Tuesday tips. But if you have things like that, it's much easier to plan out things and to be able to accomplish what you really want to for social media. Because social media, I mean, would you agree, Jackie? It's not just a random, just throw it out there. There's a reason why we're doing it, and there's a reason, that we want to be able to accomplish. So having the calendar is something that is really crucial, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. In fact, in a number of practices that we've worked with, even recently, I think calendaring is huge for several reasons. The one you just mentioned, which was to sort of put a sequential strategy or a way in which you want to roll out content. But it also seems to me like it really, when you write something down and you commit it to a date, it's a lot easier for people to take it seriously and to do it. And in many cases, the social media point person in a practice is often delegating a few things to other team members. So I've seen practices that do something fun every Thursday, like Throwback Thursday or something like that. And then that team member can have some of the other team members help them. But if you don't kind of commit that to a calendar and to a date, it's a lot harder to be consistent, don't you think?
Yeah, I totally agree because, like you said, there are a lot of different team members that will be in control of the social media at the office. So having the plan, everybody knows, especially if there's part-timers, like if Jack doesn't come in on Monday mornings, but Susan does, she'll know exactly where to take off from and where to go towards. But this is also really good too, because you can kind of see where you're going, what you're doing, what the focus is, and having a goal. And then when you're able to do the analytics later on, you'll have all this in place. And then it also too will help with being able to, sometimes you can work towards having really good images or themes of things going on in the office that will directly make it more naturally be able to make organic, real fun things rather than
Oh,
Take your beans up. Okay. How about that?
there, 4 minutes are up. Okay.
I think it was pretty good there.
All right. So you know what? Just in conclusion, though, I think that's a very succinct, very actionable idea. Have a calendar, whether you do it on Google Calendars or you do it on a big giant paper calendar and put it up in the team break room. However you do it, I think that's a really great actionable idea. So thank you. Let's have you move to your slides that have to do with number 2. You mentioned idea number 2 was better utilizing tools to make professional branded posts. So tell us a little bit about that.
So what I wanted to share with you, there's a couple things that I use that are really good tools to be able to make posts that look nice. These are a couple of different, it's called Canva. And you go on canva.com. It's very simple, easy way to be able to have nice looking images and be able to not have super expensive, if you don't have an illustrator of any type at the office, this is very inexpensive. Like most of these here that I can show you are, I made for like $1 each. You can make things on here that cost nothing and you just download them. But where it does charge you is for the actual images, and the images are that you get the license to be able to use them, so you're not having that issue with somebody catching you later on.
Yeah, that's a really good point to bring up, Susan, because I know that lots of times practices ask me that question: how do we find images that we can afford? We can't create all of our images from scratch. We don't have in-house design capability, and they don't know where to go. So I agree. I know of Canva. It's a great resource. And I think that's a great recommendation.
Yeah. So even for instance, for this one, this is like, this was already cut out and I just put it over on this image. This was a cutout. And then they have different little things for, for different fonts and stuff like that you can just pull in, and it's really simple to use. The next one that I really like, this is 123RF, and this is just getting images. So they're stock images. They're very inexpensive because there's sometimes you just want to be able to have, a picture to show, because, social media is very visual. That's what it's about. So having really good images is key. And, you don't want to get burned just pulling something off of Google and downloading it. And this is the way to do it. It's 123RF. I love that.
Yeah, so for those of you in the audience that don't really understand how imagery works, you really shouldn't and really can't just drag things from anywhere you want and use them. So be thoughtful about that. We've written a couple blog posts at My Social Practice about this topic, but having the resources that Susan's showing you is really useful. Don't get in trouble by using stuff you shouldn't.
And there's another one here. This is just an app that you can use. I have it on my desktop and also on my phone. It's called Quasi, and it's just a really fun way if like you just want to make a quote or a comment of something, and it just has a bunch of different ways that you can make unique and different, and you see them all over Pinterest and whatnot, and this is a really good way to make one of those signs or posts.
Great. I've never used that tool. So it makes kind of a graphic out of a quote or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
And then another thing, when you're using all these tools, the one thing to do is to make sure that you have a common theme so you're recognizable. Like, for instance, my social practice, you have your square signs or your rectangular signs. Like it's very evident when you look over different parts of the internet that we can say, oh, well, that's my social practice. So for Practice Dynamics, we've kind of done the same thing on our website. We tried everything. Oh, what?
Whoa. Okay. Finish up the thought.
Okay. So like our website, our blog, I'll just show you really quick. everything kind of has the same theme to it.
Mm-hmm.
So our Twitter, practice dynamics. So you want to have a common theme all across the board, so people recognize you. Like even how we dress when we are on stage or at offices, we do red, white, and black. So it's really, you want to be recognizable across the board on everything. So that's the only other thing I would say.
Good. Yeah, consistency is huge.
And this is our even our presentations that we do. This is one of our presentations.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the third idea. You said that you wanted to talk for a second about cultivating relationships by sharing your personality and interacting with fans. So set that up for us.
So this is actually kind of a direct plug for you, but it's sometimes really hard. When I've gone into practices and tried to get them to use social media, the biggest thing that they are having issues with is trying to utilize the social media to show their personality and to show, how they interact with their office. Because I think just having social media, like some of the there's really good products out there that will push out social media for you. But if you're just having generic posts and stuff like that, or making it all about being salesy, it's really, not as effective as having, like here's Lacey here. She's our personality, definitely on social media. She has the flair to reach out, and people, you could see just in this post here that she's able to reach out and people get her and understand. And, if that's the kind of thing. And with my social practice, what is awesome is it helps break down that barrier of sometimes people have that, like, well, I don't know how to ask my patients to do this or do that or be a part of it. But people are, especially you see the people that come through your office that are a little more personality to them, they'd be like so more than happy to pick up, Frankenstein's head and put it on their forehead and interact and be a part of your practice and give you that personality across the internet. So, and even just taking pictures like this. So that's why I think it's important.
I agree. And that photo you have over there on the left of team members, I am often surprised that practices, when they think about marketing, and even when they think about social media marketing, they forget the old adage that people like doing business with people they know and like.
Yeah.
And the best way to know and like people is to get to know people. And the opportunities to publish photos and content of team members, it's endless, the kinds of things that you can do to talk about your team. And we have found that people don't get tired of talking about people. So I think expressing that is a great suggestion.
Yeah, I agree. It's it's really hard, and it's mostly, especially if you're a little more shy or, but having like tools like my social practice that you have is what's going to take you into that next level, because it helps start the conversation for you that you're uncomfortable asking. Yeah.
Well, thank you I didn't ask Susan to plug us, but thank you.
Okay. I know, you're welcome.
All right, go to your next.
So we do have a workshop to help practices. So if that's something that is ever, we do have that ability. And then we also I'm going to be offering to your listeners a social media focused team meeting. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
Great. That'd be good. So to wrap up this third idea, don't be afraid of sharing the personality of team members, and certainly patients as well, but they're kind of a different strategy. We often talk about getting patients to share is kind of a marketing strategy. Sharing about team members is a little more of a branding strategy. And I think you need both branding and marketing to really be effective in your practice. And so
that is hysterical.
so you've talked about it, both branding and marketing today, and kind of how they work hand in hand. When you talked about consistency in your look and imagery, that's about branding. I think talking about team members. When people go to, for example, your Facebook page, it feels like the more team-driven content and imagery there, the better to me.
I agree.
And see if you can't get patients to post on their own pages, because then they have a more viral effect. So if you take a photo with a patient, ask them if they would post it on their social media accounts. And then if you're doing something with the team, post it to your practice's social media accounts. We've found that's pretty effective too. So
yeah, and I think even just having them check into your office is like huge. I mean, it is modern word of mouth is social media. And, it's people aren't walking around the little market anymore and talking about the best price they got on their lye soap or whatever.
That's right.
They are on social media saying, so, oh my gosh, I saw so-and-so and she was in whatever office in Scottsdale. So
yeah.
I think I'm going to go check them out.
Yeah, it's like word of mouth on steroids, right?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Crazy.
Hey, before we let you go, we do this fun little trivia, current events, silly little quiz thing, and you've agreed to participate, and you're going to be playing not for you to win, but for a dental practice to actually win. And
Right
and so actually today you are going to be playing for Dr. Cargodorian out in Hollywood, California, and his team. So if you answer I have 5 trivia questions. As soon as you answer 3 of them correctly, you are the winner, which means Dr. Cargodorian is actually the winner and his team. And my social practice is going to treat their team to lunch. So are you ready to go?
Yes, I am ready to go.
All right. Here is your first question. Hold on. First question is, the Academy Award nominations were announced yesterday, and there were a couple of obvious snubs, according to the news, actors or actresses that were snubbed in the nominations. Did you hear who they are? Who are they?
I believe Tom Hanks.
That was one, yes.
And Amy something or
it's
other.
Amy.
Okay.
Does
that count?
I think that counts. Amy Adams.
Amy Adams.
You got half of Amy Adams' name right. Nice job.
Right.
Okay, ding, ding, ding. You're 1 for 1. Question number 2. The Super Bowl sports question is coming up on February 5th. Which 2 teams are slated to play in the Super Bowl?
Okay, I know it's not Green Bay.
Nope.
And it is Tom Brady's Patriots.
Good. They play all the time, it seems like. Correct.
Yes.
What's the other team?
And it's a bird. It's not Eagles. No. It is a Falcon.
It's the Falcons.
Okay.
Very good. 2 for 2. Atlanta Falcons.
It looks like they're going to be having some lunch.
Yeah, you're getting close. Okay, you got 3 more. You only have to get 1 of them right. Walmart recently announced that they are going to start selling something new. Is it? Oh, hold on. That's not supposed to be time. Sorry.
Okay.
Is it real estate, automobiles, or cosmetic surgery services?
Well, I sure hope it's not cosmetic surgery services, because I don't know that I want to see that. I would have to say automobiles.
You are correct. They're not selling real estate. They're going to start selling automobiles at Walmart. Crazy.
That is very unremarkable, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
I can't imagine. I can't wait to see what it's going to be.
Yeah. So you got your answers correct.
Right on.
We will be, on your behalf, we're going to be treating them out to lunch. Dr. Cargodorian Cargo Dorian and his team. So thank you.
Congratulations.
You did it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Now I want to make sure everybody has your contact information. And then I do have something right after this that I want to remind people of as well. So it's Susan Sims at Practice Dynamics. There's her phone number, 888-425-3235, extension 704. Website, practicedynamics.net. And if you want to send an email to Susan and get to know her better and the things that she's doing, it's susan.sims@practicedynamics.net. Is that all correct?
Yes, sir. It looks good.
Okay, good. And before we let you and our audience go, for those of you who may have interest, we are doing the Dental Digital Marketing Conference in April, and these dental digital marketing discussions that we're having right now are in part in preparation for the conference. You can go and it's at April 28th and 29th in Las Vegas. If you go to the site, I'll give you the URL in just a minute. You can watch a little video about the first two conferences. This will be the third annual conference. You can look at the schedule and speakers. And in fact, Susan is participating as one of our presenters in the conference and will be there in Las Vegas with us.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And you can kind of read about whether or not this is a good fit for your practice to be at the conference. You can go to dentalmarketingconference.com and see if it's a good thing for you. It's 2 full days of doing nothing but talking about dental digital marketing. That's it. We don't talk about anything else. So it's a real hands-on kind of a 2-day conference. So go there if you want to learn more. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. Go back here to Susan. Anything else you want to add before we sign off, Susan?
Just wanted to offer to any of your listeners that I would be glad to do a team meeting complimentary. So just reach out to me on my cell phone or my 800 number or my email, and I'd be glad to let that happen. Yeah,
I'm sorry. You showed your slide there at the end of your slides, and we said we'd come back to that. So that would be a great thing to take advantage of with Susan. She's just doing it for any practice then, Susan, that wants to do it?
Any practice that wants to reach out to us, I'd be more than happy to do that for them.
That's great. Well, they have a ton of experience, and we have a lot of confidence in Lacey and Susan and their whole team there. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see everyone else on the next Dental Digital Marketing discussion.